The MCU has been putting out a lot of content lately, and fans and critics seem to be divided on a lot of it. Is the MCU dying? Let's get into it. Before we get into it, I do want to say hit the subscribe button down below. It does my channel a lot of good. And today's video is going to be mainly focused on the MCU, the future, the current, and where I think the MCU will end up, and kind of how, not necessarily if it'll end, but what will be the demise of the MCU. Before we get into it though, please do hit the subscribe button down below. Also, comment down below, have you been enjoying Marvel's recent output of things? Before we get into it, I do want to say I love the MCU. Best franchise, my favorite franchise in my opinion, not necessarily the best, but my favorite. I've enjoyed She-Hulk. I've really enjoyed She-Hulk. Miss Marvel. Thor Love and Thunder I did not like. On rewatch, I don't like Thor Love and Thunder very much. It's okay. It's kind of right there now with Thor the Dark World, I gotta say. So, the recent output of Marvel content, mainly starting with like it started with Phase 4. That's when everything kind of went downhill for the MCU. Not necessarily in terms of quality for some things, but just all over the place. The MCU doesn't necessarily feel like one franchise. And well, I don't necessarily have a problem with that because I like seeing stuff like Werewolf by Night exist in the same universe as a She-Hulk. I think that works really well, and I enjoy seeing that. A lot of people don't like the not connectiveness that the MCU has made for itself in Phase 4, and I think that is a big problem, but I also think the MCU has gotten too silly. She-Hulk is just kind of embracing it. They're really kind of calling it out, breaking the fourth wall, saying, yeah, they're really calling it as it is, but I also think that that's not the greatest idea because it doesn't rewatchability. Is that really going to be rewatchable? Is it really going to feel like it's a part of this bigger picture? Because the MCU is all about this big connected universe, and when you have something like She-Hulk and it being that comedic and that self-aware, there's some problems there. And I also think Miss Marvel started off phenomenal. Everyone was talking about how much they liked Miss Marvel. Then it kind of went downhill. Thor Love and Thunder really split audiences. And Thor Love and Thunder is when I think the MCU Phase 4 really took a big hit because everyone was just divided on it. Everyone was saying either it's good or it's really bad. The MCU, to me, Thor Love and Thunder, it represents all of the MCU's modern problems. And it's too comedic. It's too silly. It's not funny either. Taika Waititi really just went all out, and I don't think it worked. I know when I first saw it, I said that I really enjoyed it. On repeat viewing, I got so bored watching the movie. So I think there are problems that lie in the comedic nature, but I also think there's just too much. I don't think we need 3 shows a year with 3 movies, 2 holiday specials, and an I Am Groot show, like a short series, and then next year we're getting animated shows on top of that stuff. And it's too much. It's way too much. The MCU has already, just Phase 4 is like almost, it's, first of all, in terms of minutes, it's longer than all of Phases 1 through 3. That's a problem because it's been 2 years, and I think the MCU is getting too big. It's really getting too, recently, Blade lost its director, and Kevin Feige, there was a rumor going around that Kevin Feige is in, like, he's stretched too thin and he doesn't have enough time to go to all these projects. And I think that's showing, especially with like Doctor Strange. Now, I love Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but there were problems with it in terms of connectivity and just stuff like that. To me, the MCU, I need it to end. Not necessarily soon. I want to see Secret Wars. I want to see what they're doing, but I don't think it's a franchise that could go on forever. And I know there was talk of like, will it ever end? I think it does end at a point. I think you can only get so big, and people will only watch for so long. People are going to stop falling off because when you have to watch 40 movies and 30 TV shows, 70 projects is probably what it's going to be in like 5 years. When you have to watch that many, it kind of takes you out of it because it's more like homework instead of actually enjoying it. And I think there's just so much superhero content. Now I love it and I'm not necessarily sick of it, but the general audience is kind of getting sick of it. Oh, it's another superhero movie. And the thing is it's not feeling different. So those are the problems for me right now with the MCU. Share your thoughts down below. Did you enjoy this video? Also hit the subscribe button. Do you think the MCU is kind of failing in phase 4 and not really catching the ball? Do you think it's kind of just fumbling? Tell me all that down below. As always, you can check out some more videos right now.